Hey friends, it's your boy BigTCGFan coming at you with another video, and today we are going to be doing a deck list. And the deck list that I'm going to be sharing with you is my Shirzad Wanderer deck. Now this deck right here, the only reason I have it, I know it's not powerful and I know nobody probably even plays it in Wanderer, but the reason I have it is because Shirzad, a little liberator of wind, Shirzad, the teller of 1001 stories, she's my ruler. This deck right here, she was my very first ruler when I first started playing this game, so I just have a affection for her. So that's the only reason I made this deck. In the current meta, it would probably get spanked, but who cares? What I went with this deck is a control deck, very similar to what I had in the original time. So I'm just going to share the cards with you. We'll start with the main deck, then the stone deck, then the sideboard. So I have 2 copies of Zeke's The Ancient Magic. Now this card right here, the reason I have it is because it has multiple abilities that you could utilize. It's counter a creature, give a bonus to a creature, or you can shuffle your graveyard and your stone graveyard back into their decks. Very useful. I actually have won a game playing someone where the deck stalled for so long that I was able to shuffle my deck back in and win. Next I have Keen Sense. This is a flexible counter spell, counters normal spell, or I destroy target card in enchant standby area. Mostly the counter spell, you never know what you could run into out there. Then this card right here is a big time hero. It is Flame of the Outer World. Do 800 damage to target J Resonator. Players cannot chase this card. For me, the chase the card part is the part that makes it very strong. Next you have Thunder. It is instant, 1 red, bam, 500 points damage J Resonator. Or the player themselves. I have 3 in the deck. Next I have 1 Black Moonbeam. This is just to destroy a J ruler, and it can't be chased, so it's just for me to execute a J ruler if needed. You never know. Then I got a board wipe, the final battle. You pay 100 life and then or pay 1 mana, and it does X damage, minus X to J resonators your opponent controls. It's just a way, you pay life, but it's a way to wipe the board. So I have 2 of those. Next I have Lorite 7 Luminaries Astrologian. This guy's awesome because he counters target activate or automated abilities your opponent controls. There's not really much you can say. He's got quick cast, so you do it in response. His secondary ability of moving through, I don't do that. So I have 3 in the deck. It's just an awesome card. Next I have early game mana ramp. I have 4 Elvish Priests and 4 Sacred Elves. The idea is I need mana fast and hard, and this card is why. Stories Told 1001 Nights. This card right here, basically what it does is you target a creature resonator in play, you exile that resonator, then you go through their deck, their graveyard, and their library, and you exile any other versions of that card as well. This right here, I have 4 of them in the deck, 1, 2, 3, 4. It only really works with Shirzad, but what it does is I can literally destroy creature-based strategy decks. So it's just a brutal card, and with the mana ramp I can play it pretty quickly. On second turn I'm dropping them. Next, Tamia, Familiar of the Holy Wind. This card right here is just a cheap card, 1 cost to be drawing cards. Drawing cards is very important because you have to outdraw your opponent. Next you have Abdul Azred, Poet of Madness. This guy, what he does is he makes it so ETB abilities that your opponents have don't work. Enter the battlefield. I have 3 of him in the deck. Next I have the Nameless Mist. Like the counterspell, this is the way I deal with non-resonator cards. As you can see, I got plenty of kill. So for 1 black, I can look at their hand and make them discard and then give a little buff to my guys, which you don't really care about, but I have 3 of those in the deck. And finally, this right here, because it's a control deck, the goal is you stall the game, neutralize their threats, and then eventually you'll be able to drop Kasunagi Motoko down. I have 2 of them. She's a 1400, quick cast, first strike, flying, barrier, drain, precision, swiftness. This card cannot be canceled. When it comes time to play this card, it is game over, especially in a control deck like this. Alright, next I have my stone deck. I have 4 Magic Stone of Blasting Waves that gives me green and red. Then I have 4 Magic Stone of Black Silence, green and black. Then I have 1 red, and then finally I have 1 Magic Stone of Moonshade. What makes this card useful is Her ability, when you have Shirzad, when you first start the game, you're allowed to tutor up one stone and put it on top of your deck. So in order to ensure I have all of my mana colors, I tutor this card first. And then mid-late game, when I no longer need the specific colors, I just use the void color of it for various costs. So it's very effective. Next, I've got in my sideboard, we got Absolute Cake Stone. I have 2 of those. It's just another counter spell. I used to have Gretel in the deck, but that card's been banned, and it sucks because that used to be my main mana ramp. This is why I put the Sacred Elves in there instead of the 4 Gretels. So I have 2 of those in my sideboard. I have an extra Thunder for more burn. Next, if you run into a deck with a bunch of relics, regalia, and additions, the Holy Heavenly Gust, I got 3 of them. They're great for that. Just in case I run into another control deck, I got 2 Keen Senses. If I run into another deck that a J-Ruler heavy deck, I can use my 2 Black Moonbeams. Creature Swarm decks, I got another Final Battle. More control deck work with Nameless Mists. And then if I run into a deck that's like specifically themed on like a specific race, like Dragon or Knights of the Round Table or Fairies, that's when you use this Shirzad here, because she costs 5, but what she does is she can choose a race, and then they can't play that race anymore. Plus, then you pay 2 and tap her, and you can nuke Resonators. And then I got another Lorite, just in case, you never know. So you get this heavy ET battle decks that works. So this deck is, I think it's pretty effective. Obviously, there's only so much you can do when you're dealing with some more of the powerful decks out there. But my intent obviously is not, oh, I'm going to dominate the universe with this deck. It's just a fun, casual wanderer deck. So this concludes this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share if you can. Peace out.